This week's episode is sponsored by Change. Change is the #1 mentoring programme that teaches you e-commerce from scratch. Change has a real community with real results. I have been working with Ryan for many years now and have attended many of his events and retreats across the world and got to meet members and the amazing community of like-minded people. Ryan works with a lot of big names in the business world, helping them build online businesses and e-commerce. Change offers personal one-on-one support, no experience needed, but like anything, this takes time and is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you put the work in, you will get the results. E-commerce and online shopping is getting bigger and bigger. This is a great opportunity for anyone that is looking for financial freedom. For more information, go follow Ryan on Instagram at RyanJB, and he will guide you through the steps to help you get started and build a successful online business. You can now follow me on all my social media platforms to find out who my latest guest will be. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you're notified for when my next podcast goes live. And boom, we're on.
We're on.
Today's guest, we've got Ryan Bridge. How are we?
I'm very well, mate.
First and foremost, brother, thanks for coming on the show.
Of course, yeah.
Zulu, one of Birmingham's top boys. Come on, the Zulu.
Been a fan top boys, but yeah, I've had a go over the years. I love the Blues, love everything about it, love the hooligan culture, love the football culture, and that's me. I love the football, and obviously, when you come down, we had a good day, didn't we? And you met all the chaps, and we had a great day, and it's a great community, and it's a great togetherness, and it's it's proper.
Yeah, like I say, I was a bit thrown back by how many's involved. With so many lads that know each other. It's not like that from Scotland. Everybody sort of knows each other, but more a friendly environment. It felt as if anyone was up for it at any given time.
Yeah. Everyone from we're in we're now we're on from the terraces and the stands. It's now to we're all chucking in a few quid, and we've got got a box and stuff like that. And you come down to the box, and we had a great day, and it was great. And then you've got other lads that are in the other boxes and everyone chips in together, gets a deal, and we're proper brummies. And that's what we all do. We all stick together, and we're the untouchable firm in the country.
No, it was a great day, great food.
Yeah.
A couple of the ex-Celtic players playing for Birmingham as well. So that gave us a little extra boost, But yeah, you're doing Raise the Colours. You started that, flags rolling up and down the UK. You're also over in Cali. Where else? Dover?
Yeah, so we do from the football day, we sort of go from and we have the chat and the like-minded guys, and then all of a sudden, this migrant crisis is happening and the illegal invasion of immigrants all over the UK. And a few of the lads just putting flags up in a little place called Solihull, and there's a couple of migrant hotels there, and there's illegal young men walking around the streets, and to make themselves feel better, they're putting flags up.
And you're over in Cali as well, stopping the boat.
So yes, so we sort of went from doing a flag movement where we love it to going, what's the next step? And the next step was we'll go to Dover and we'll put a big flag over the side of the White Cliffs of Dover. So we dropped a flag over there just before the 13th of September. And we didn't even have an Instagram or nothing. And it was like, right, let's sort something out. We'll call it raisethecolours.org.uk, because there was no domains. And it was just an off-the-cuff thing. A few lads got together, and then it's just grown from that to sort of what it is today, which is a unifying public statement and something that people people can get involved in all over the country. And it's, if you've liked or commented or shared or had positives about Raise the Colours and what we do, then you're part of Raise the Colours, and everyone can do their bit. And we're going to try and change the course of history. We're going to try and change what hasn't been going on in the weak, wokey governments, whether it's Labour, Tory, whatever you might be. but we're going to try and make that change and make people in the UK feel a little bit safer on the streets, and try and ease some of the pain and suffering that some of these parents are sat there tonight and haven't got the children or the missus or the dad or the bloke walking his dog that got brutally stabbed for no reason by illegal migrants that are in this country unvetted. And that's the bigger thing of what we're doing, from obviously dropping that flag at Dover today.
There is a lot of backing behind it, but there's also a lot of negativity. There is a lot of divide in the UK and all around the world. You know, I know you're a patriot. I know you're a loyalist. I know you're very, like I say, patriotic to your thoughts and your beliefs. You always have been. It's not just a case of the illegal immigration and raising the colours. You've always been. You've got tattoos everywhere since you were 14 and 15 years old.
Yeah.
But before we get into everything though, I always like to go back to the start of my guests, get more of a bit of understanding about you, Ryan, where you grew up and how it all began.
Okay, so I was born in Birmingham QE Hospital, and my mum was a cleaner. My dad, used to drive lorries for a living, and I used to train the 6-week holidays when I was a little shit, and my mum used to go, right, jump in the. You can go with your dad for 2 weeks now. We used to go away in the lorry, and we used to sleep in his lorry, and I used to love it. And we used to, that was my upbringing. And I went to Cub Scouts, and I done the colour parade where you walk down with the Union flags, and you go to church on a Sunday, and it was brilliant. We moved up towards the Lickey Hills, and we was in the Lickey Hills, and it was, I had a great childhood. I went to a great school, had great friends. I got into football. Little sister and, brother and sister, mum and dad, nan and granddad. My granddad was a sergeant in obviously in the army. He was brought up, and my mum would always instrument it into us, like my granddad's upbringing. So my granddad was in a home, and like when he was alive, he would tell us the stories about when he was in the home. So he was in the work from 6 years old. He was in the workhouse right till he was 16, and then at 16 the war broke out. So when all the other kids were like scared of going to war, he was just like, well, this is better than being in that workhouse that I've been in all my life. So we had a hard upbringing. And then he obviously met my nan, and they met in Oxford, and we called him Uncle John. So he was my granddad's brother. He went to like Dunkirk side, German side, and then my granddad done the Burma side of the war, right, the World War. So my granddad was then a sergeant major because he had a strong structure from his upbringing. And then he met my nan, and they wrote and pen palled each other for all the way through the war. And they'd never really met each other, but they met on pen pal, and they planned their wedding over letters. And we've got those letters. And it brings a tear to my mum's eyes every time. And she'll tell me the stories. And then my granddad, when I was growing up, he used to have a little tin, and he'd have like the Japanese teeth, and he'd have from These Are the Soldiers, that's the bullet that never got me, that was a badge off this, and about all the memorabilia, and I've got it all. I've got all these caps and bits of medals and stuff like that, and it's just amazing. I was fascinated with it as a kid, absolutely fascinated with it. And I don't watch TV. I'd love war films, and I love anything about like history of war and how countries evolved, and I was just into that sort of thing. And then I got into the football.
How you like at school?
At school, I was just a bit of a tearaway. I weren't interested in school. I was interested in more. I was interested in geography, but maths, English, just not interested. I was interested in like a bit of history, a bit of geography, as opposed to getting the best grades or doing this. I was just like, I'd play football. I was the guy in the playground playing football, and then I met a group of lads in the senior school then, and was all like-minded blues fans. We used to wear blue scarves, and that's when I got the real things. We had blue scarves on, and then other lads in the playground had Villa scarves on, and that's when I was like, oh, I like this. We're in a bit of a group or a gang, and a bit of a culture, and then it sort of went from there.
How did you end up becoming a blue?
My dad, really. My dad took me. My dad's blues, my mum's blues, and we're from Birmingham, and it's like you support your local team, don't you? So we sort of we used to go down, and I used to sit in the paddock, and I used to look across, and we had the spine cop across, and you'd see this cop moving, and when there was a goal, you'd see the surges forward, and I used to be looking, going like, I was only, I don't know, 4 or 5, and I'd be like, I want to be in there. And I was fascinated with it. I didn't used to watch the game. We used to just mess about and run along the front and all the rest of it. And I was just fascinated with it. And then you see a few bits and bobs going on. And then as I got into my teenage years, the groups that we had at at school, we started, we'd watch, the old Gary Oldman film and all these football hooligan films, and then there was stuff going on with England fans, and I just got fascinated with the violence side, really.
When did you get involved with the Zulus?
God, I used to follow. When I used to go to the games on my own, really. So from about 15, we'd like wag school and go to a game on a night game, or on the weekend, I'd get the pass to go out, and we'd have a couple of cans of Carling and bottle of poppers and sniff them or whatever, just mad stuff. Smoke fags and like share fags and just be sat there like a bag of chips and a fag and it was just like that's what we used to do. We used to like buy 10 fags and share them and just like growing up that's how we grew up, and then like Birmingham was just a massive part, and then you get more into the club and the culture, and then you'd see just an element of the hooligan element come, and I was just like, that's us. And I'd just like tag along at the back and follow, and I followed and followed and followed, and then our top boy, the main boy, I know you've had a lot of serious people on your show and a lot of good people, you've had some Zulus on and stuff, but our top boy in our firm, Cuds, is the main boy, and I met him, and he was 40 and I was 20. So we've got like 20 years gap between us. And I met him, and we was, and then I met him like 3 or 4 months later, and I'd like follow on and tag on. He'd give me a nod, and I feel like, fucking hell, it's brilliant. A bit sad now because he's one of my real good pals. But we then went to Man United away, and I think I was half pissed, and I remember I had a full Stone Island coat on it. I've paid like £750 for it, and I'd saved up, and I loved it. And I had it on. The first time I had it on, it got all cut down the back. It got ripped to bits. I got threw in fucking horse shit. I got smashed in the nose. There was blood all down me. I remember coming, they didn't let me in the ground, and I went up to the top. There's a crossroads at Man U, and these like Man U lads went, when your boys come, it's on like, and I looked, there was fucking hundreds of them. So I seen the Zulus come out. There was only about 10 of us, something like that, 15. And I seen them, and they went, hey, like, I was a young kid. They went, come over here, like. And I went, yeah. And I went, what's happened to you? Clean your fucking face up, right? Pauline, like, let's go. And it was on, and I went, hang on a minute, there's fucking loads of them. And I went, we ain't bothered. And literally, we got to the crossroads, and the Man U, good firm, right? And they come from north, south, east, west, and it was on, and we were back to back. And that's when you got like, I've been in a few little rucks before, but that was the one. And I thought, this is proper. This is fucking a bit of me. And since that day, then it was just, we were all together, and I just united into the Zulu firm, and then you sort of try and get yourself up the ranks, I think, and try and I just didn't want no one taking the piss out of Birmingham and out of the city and out of what we're about. And I'm good to go, and I'm good to go. And if it's on, it's on, and and I enjoyed it, to be fair.
Yeah, because Man U has got a good firm. I've had people on who says they've actually got the best firm.
Yeah, I mean, numbers wise, they've got that many from that many different parts of the country that if it's on and they're on the day, there's fucking hundreds of them, and they're for every single angle. And then subsequently, the next 2 years later, I think we played Norwich, and Man U played West Brom, and there was a meet organised. This is back 2004. It's like 20 stretch ago, like you say, and they called it on, and they were in our pub, and we went up there, and the lot went up, and we had it off, and the windows went through. There was chairs and tables, and I was just like, this is fucking brilliant. So I'm in the doorway. I've gone in the pub. I'm now getting battered back out, and was having it off, and then it was like the best thing ever. So then 3 weeks later, we ended up playing, Villa were playing, and we went down there. I got nicked for that, and then I got arrested, and then I got dawn raided for the Man U. So I was on double bail for football violence, and I was like, oh, fuck. Then my house got raided, my mum's out. It was a nightmare. And then it was just on, and I got off with that. I got banned for 3 years, and I got a big fine. And then since then, I've just sort of tried to relax a bit, where you just get sucked in, and I was getting into the England scene and all that. So yeah.
What would have happened if you ran away that day? How do you think that would have shaped your life?
I wouldn't have ran away first and foremost, because it's either in you or it's not. And the football buzz and the football violence buzz, if you've got it, it's not about going up to someone and, giving them it's not that. It's the biggest. And if you're a football lad and you obviously watch these, which a lot of football guys do, it's something you can't explain. If it's in you, it's in you. And if it's in your bone, that football violence isn't violence. You're not attacking, an asylum seeker, a legal immigrant. You're not violently, you're not a bully. It's in you, and it's something you can't describe. And it's the best buzz and feeling when you're with the boys and you're going for the meat. It's the best buzz in the world. It's better than anything.
Is it?
Is it?
That
Extreme. It's extreme, mate. It's extreme. It was for me anyway. I think a lot of lads will relate to it. It's the best buzz in the world.
On a good day, how many lads has Birmingham got?
Oh, we've come to London with 500 a few times. And top draw, proper lads. There's lads that can go, we've got 1,000 lads and we've got this, that and the other. But we've gone to Millwall with 500, and we've had, but Birmingham with the police now and how they do what they're doing, we've got, if on an away game, if there's not many people touching us, if we've got, 100 lads, but we'll also go 20, 30 of us now. And we know when none of us are leaving anyone, we're not going anywhere. And there's not a lot of firms that can budge us on our day. And I think, I'm not just saying it because other firms say that they're this, that and the other, but I think on our day, we're one of the top firms in the country.
How was it going up against Millwall? How tough are they? Because everybody, they're known worldwide as well for the hooliganism.
Yeah. I mean, I've had some good scrapes from Millwall, but not in big numbers. Mainly when it's just like minibus here, or a carload there, or an indication there. I've had it with a couple of lads at England games. And as your face goes about, I've had a few little altercations with some Millwall lads. I've been in company with some of their top boys through some of the Zulu top boys, and they're great lads as well. And it's like, when it's match day, it's match day, and when it's not, it's not. So they're a proper firm, and we played them on that game when it was the worst. I think it was the worst football violence mainland England ever seen, and it was the Stern John winner in the playoffs, and Millwall proper. They were proper on that. I mean, we were unbelievable, but we fought our way and broke our way out the ground and got out and done the business. And when we look what they'd done, you got to take your hats off to them. They'd done all their utmost to get to us. There was horses running around with no riders. There was pubs on fire, cars on fire. It was fucking mental. And you think, well, we all done our bit there, and I think they would rate us that day, and we'd rate them that day. And I'm not one of these guys that just go, we're number one and that's it. There is a lot of good firms out there.
How do you justify the violence? Because people from all walks of life watch these podcasts. Like you say, a lot of football lads, I've had the majority on, not asked about hooliganism. I don't mind it, because if hooligans want to fight hooligans, who gives a fuck? It's just when obviously the crossfire, the media, especially the English boys, every World Cup, every Euros, the English lads are causing it. You'll see the chairs and the tables. Yeah. But for the families and that, how do you justify it for the violence?
Yeah, because we don't want to. I mean, when I had my 3-year ban, it was the main thing they used in the court case was because the chairs and tables that were going, so the windows were all going through, there was somebody having their meal in there. And then and it's not right, is it? That ain't right. But, we're not into that. I mean, I think they've done it for you're up Scotland way, where they're in the forest fighting. Mm-hmm. But that ain't really, I mean, that's the ultimate, isn't it? Toe to toe, brawling, fists. But football violence isn't really like that. It's the casual scene. It's going out in the day with your mates, having a drink and that. And it's loads of different elements of it, which are good.
Who's the toughest firm you've come up against?
No one really. We hold our own. We hold our own with whoever.
You did that fucking.
I got it, mate. It's a fucking trick question, that is.
Where's the one that stands out though? Like when you've got, because everybody says they get run at some point. Because I had Bill Gardner on, who was West Ham top boy, great story. But people don't realise the hatred for each other. Because Tiny, who was one of Millwall's top boys, wanted to reach out to Bill, and the other West Ham boys were telling Bill, fuck him off, who cares, he's dying. Bill says, there's got to be a bit of respect here, and they made the phone call, and it was kind of a mutual respect, which was a good thing. But people don't realise the actual hatred
for
other teams.
Obviously Aston Villa, for me, and I'll end up that he cutting my own throat here, hanging myself, but for me, they're not up there where we are, West Ham, Millwall, or any, they're not in the same league. But out of principle of where we live, that's who we hate, right? But out of the flag movement, I have spoke to a few Villa lads, and and they've messaged me and this, that, and the other. And it's not really, it's not a Blues and Villa thing. And on match day, it's game on. But it's not really that sort of thing. Whereas, with Blues, like there was a funeral of a Villa lad the other week, and I never went to it, but we got a wreath together, and the Blues turned up with the Zulus and presented that, and it's that show respect really, because Villa were there and Blues were there, and it's like it's not match day, so it's not it's not like the films like, say, Green Street, where you see him in the pub and he's having his tea on the night and you're going to go in there and attack him. We're not bullies. And like, if you're with your missus or kids or families, it's just, it's a nod and a smile really. And we crack on. But on match day, it's on.
How does it work with different divisions? If you're in the Premier League one season and then the sort of first division, is it a big step down? Because I've spoke to people as well who says some of the toughest firms are the smaller clubs. I think Grimsby get a shout out, like Sunderland,
I know,
Sheffield United.
Good lads. I know some good lads at Grimsby.
Middlesbrough are supposed to be a top firm.
Yeah, Middlesbrough, top firm. I've come unstuck at Middlesbrough 2 seasons ago, actually. Come unstuck at Middlesbrough. Went round there stupid, 5-6 of us. Just fucking heads are gone. We lost in the last minute. I went, come on, we're going to have a mooch. We'll go left instead of right. And that's my thing down the football. And I end up going on for a little mooch. And what I wouldn't want to do is embarrass our name and our firm, which the lads have got through years and years of battling. But I just get that passion sometimes in the drive. And we went round then, we done all right, but we didn't win. But we didn't lose.
So you said it was a draw?
I don't know about a draw.
How's your ego dented?
I don't know about a draw, but I had a few on me. I had to go into the crouch position a little bit, the Peter crouch. But it was there was a few on me in its game, but they're not stamping on my head while I'm on the floor, because they're like-minded lads. It's a scrap and a standoff and a few lefts and rights are getting thrown. It might get a kick here or there, but no one's going to start jumping on your head and trying to stamp on your head. It's not about that. Football violence isn't about, you don't want to kill the person. You want everyone to go home to their families at the end of the day.
So what is it about then, for people who don't understand?
Buzz, isn't it? It's a buzz. It's the biggest buzz ever, and that's when I said it really is it's just the maddest buzz in the world. It's like a roller coaster. Why would you want to go on a roller coaster and then you go on it again? But it's horrible, but you love it. Mm-hmm. It's the same sort of thing. It's just a great buzz.
Have you ever seen anyone go too far with it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, don't mention them.
No.
So incriminate them, but have they went?
You get a lot
of nutcases out there.
There is, yeah, and that's like it's not what we're about. We're not about that. We're not about that at all. And I have, and it's just like, and then people that are like that, they come and go. They're the local loon or whatever, and they come and go. But proper solid football lads, it's in you, and it's in you from when you're 18 to when you're 88, I suppose. I'm not too sure, but I've got like our top boy now, and he'll kill me for this. Our top boy now, he's getting on a bit, and he's a businessman, and he's no, I'm retired, I'm this, that, and the other. But it's in there, mate, and you can't get rid of that in there.
You think that's just the fighting spirit? I think a lot of people in Britain have that though, the fighting mentality.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's inbred in us from all walks of life, and it doesn't matter. I mean, we're a multicultural firm, but if you're from Birmingham and you're a Brummie, and you support Birmingham, I think that we're all the same. We all stand up. And I mean, when it goes mental, like West Ham's another prime one, when West Ham have beat us and it went mental that day. I don't know what game it was. It was years and years ago. I was only young again. And you had like shirts, and we call them shirts, they're not dresses. They've got the shirts on, and their shirts are wading in, and Blues have got a load of lunatics and they're all shirts. Whereas, and you go, fucking hell, but the hardcore elements would be the sort of casuals.
What does the Zulus mean to you? What is the name the Zulus mean to you?
Oh God, it's just mental. I mean, you know, tattoos. I've got Zulu tattooed over me. It's just something that it comes into my head, and it's like I love tattoos. So I've got like my legs completely like Zulu. I've got Zulu here. I've got little Z's here. I've got a picture of my kids on my back. So I've got all the kids in the portrait. And my one son's got a scarf around him. I've got a Zulu pin badge on the scarf. It's just a little thing. It's like, it's just in me. We've got like, we've got our own bar now.
Yeah,
you was in it, weren't you, with us? And you met the lads and you seen it. It's all like Zulu stuff here and Zulu stuff there. And in our bar, it's like we've got all the Zulu stuff everywhere and the flags. And it's just, that's where we all go. And it's just like a family, a community, and anyone can go. And you could be on your own, just walk in there and everyone's welcome, because as long as you stand on, you're good as gold.
Yeah, it was busy. Who's the oldest in the firm? Do you ever get any older?
There's
the older lot who have a tap?
There's obviously the guy you met who looked after us and sorted us the tickets out. He was like sat in the other side doing a bit of hospitality because he's getting a bit posh now. So he was over that side, and then when we come back over, like he will tell us stories when we're out, and he's got like, he was a young kid, and then you got the older ones and the old ones and the old ones. So it just goes on and on forever. And it's like Birmingham had the Zulus, and then before that it was the Apex, and then it was like that Skinheads, and they're all different firms, but the Zulu name, I mean, I've been told stories by some of our lads, and they're like, we had the National Front in the terraces and in the stands, and I'm like, what? I'm like, you can't. I'm 44, so I wouldn't even know what the National Front looked like. What was it like? You can Google it and see a picture, but they're all old pictures and nothing relevant to this, the last 40 odd years for me. They're like, yeah, National Front was on the stands, and they tell me the stories, and then you look what they've done to eradicate racism from Birmingham and have Birmingham as a multicultural firm. And it's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very multicultural, which I think is important for, obviously, when we touch on the interview, the things that you're doing, because even the flags and stuff you've had, what age did you get your first England tattoo?
Oh, 14, 15. My mum can't drive.
That was nothing to do with racism.
No.
Patriotic.
Yeah, I know. I had the
country.
Yeah, and it's
and I think these things are important to show you're not just doing the things that you're doing now to hate on all colours, because with the Zulus and at Birmingham there, it was all multicultural, if not more black guys than white, so, and everybody was sound. There was no racism, a lot of jokes, a lot of fuckery, a lot of madness, which I love. That's what it's all about for me, what happens in-house stays in-house. Yeah. And that's what it should be all about. So when you're going through the sort of ranks in Birmingham, same Big Baz Bannington, I've got to give Big Baz a shout out, God bless him, an absolute warrior. I know he's Mrs. Tracy very well. Yeah. Two great people. He was probably the first hooligan I had on.
Oh, really?
I was kind of just starting off in the journey. I think it was a 40-minute interview. And just a big unit, just a great big guy, and it was sad to hear him pass, but he was telling us about the wars and all the fighting, and I'm thinking, because I was just starting off this 6-7 years ago, I didn't understand it. We don't really get it in Scotland, but now I understand it more. Now I know all the lads from all firms, and now I just accept it because I'm used to it. And I think, do you know what? Do what you've got to do.
Yeah.
But how hard is it as well? Like, how tight is the brotherhood for people you grow up with and people who lose their lives? Like, it's not just a case of hooliganism. There's more to it than outside of fighting.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, you go back to sort of Tracy, and we've got, Big Bird. We've one of our, God rest his soul, Big Bird. But if you thought Barrington was big, like, Big Bird made him look small. Do you know what I mean? He was like massive, and he was like real good pal, a real close guy. And all the lads who watch this, they'll be just like, Big Bird, rest in peace, because he was such a gentle giant, real nice guy. But if he needed to switch, it was on. And he was, in his grave, he's sort of next door to Barrington's grave at the cemetery. So when we all go there for one of the birthdays and whatnot, we all raise a glass, and we all sit round, and there's music playing, and the family and the community of Birmingham City come together. And to even have the graves next to each other is just amazing, isn't it? It's like nothing, and I don't know if there are other firms that are as tight as that, but the Zulu firm we're all as one, we're as whole, we're as one. And them words that I've just said there, we're a whole as at one. I was on a Danny Dyer documentary, when he'd done that thing on the football firms. And I was on that, and I was covered up because I was on bail, and it was 20 odd years ago. And I said them same words. We're Blues, we're Zulus, we're as whole, we're as one. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, and it's like, and you know what? I'm tired of spouting on about the race thing and the black white thing, because we're just from Birmingham. We're just normal geezers.
Yeah, we've spoke about it off camera as well. We're quite close. off cameras, not too fucking close, none of the gay shit. But I'm just saying, like, we have conversations. I've spoke many times. I hate the divide.
Yeah,
I hate it because, like you say, when we're in Birmingham, it's multicultural. It's all different people, all different religions, all different backgrounds. And I don't want to be part of the divide, but we've still got to make a stand from where we're from. As a Scotsman, I think we've got to be proud of our colours. I think we've got to be proud of who we are. Don't lose our identity. I think we're in a place. I'm massive for free speech. I'm massive against illegal immigration. I think you've got to have the right paperwork. I always have to sort of repeat that. Like, you can't be coming to a place and not having the right paperwork in case you do anything. I think we've got enough dickheads in the UK, from the UK. We don't need any more just now until we sort out our own problems. I just think it's a bit of common sense to understand you've got to have the right legal documentation so we know who you are in case you cause any havoc. I think it's just as simple as that. But when there's boats and thousands of people and young kids getting fucking tampered with and beaten up and people getting robbed, and I'm not just blaming illegal immigration for that, because again, we've got enough dickheads of our own doing the same sort of stuff, but there's just everything's under a microscope just now, and I think the media can play each other against each other from left and right and black and white and Muslim and Christians. But we're at a stage now, there's something does need to be done, you know. So see, when you're going through all the ranks, like, what was the sort of method then? Were you putting up flags then, or were you just getting on with your life? Because I know you've got a successful business and stuff as well.
So luckily for me, my business it runs, you know, I've got a great team behind me and I've been successful, so I could sort of concentrate on other things. And I was doing all the coaches down the Blues with all the lads, and we were running coaches, and we were going to, you know, we went to Wembley and bloody lost, didn't we, the other year. So we, you know, and I think I've done about 4 or 5 coaches going to that, and there's hundreds of tickets, and it's great, and I'm organising this, and I'm keeping busy doing things like that. And then the sort of flag movement come together, and I was just like, yeah, this is bad, what's going on? And it was every single week there was the next problem, the next murder, the next rape, the next park full of illegal unvetted men. And it was just like, what is going on here? And then, you know, you've seen people putting flags up, and I thought, well, I want to get involved in that. And then when I get my fix, I've got to complete it. And I don't know about completing this one, but I'm going to have a good go.
But your life is easy then. You're in with the Zulus, you're making money, you've got a good life. Why get involved? Why put your face to the front of it? Because by doing so, which you might have already realised now, maybe not at the start, that comes at a cost. You've got media against you, you've got the left against you. And as much as people say, oh, they're this and that, they're very powerful when they get together. They're very well organised because they think, fuck it. Like, that's where you need to be careful what you're doing, because this is a game. And have you now tasted what it's like then to be at the fucking other end?
But like you've just said, be careful. And do you know how many people have said to me, Ryan, you need to be careful. Ryan, you need to be careful. I don't need to be careful. What I need to do is protect what we've already got, because being careful and sitting there and doing nothing, for me, I'm at the time in my life where I want to look back and go, well, do you know what? I've had a good go here, and I've tried to change the course of what's going on. I've tried to change what these governments have done over the last 20 odd years, and the mass migration and invasion of, you know, illegal people into the country committing horrendous crimes. And yeah, I don't need to do it, and I could just sit back and have a great life. But for me, I'm not doing it. And that's why, you know, the left go grift out, or they go this, that, and the other. I'm not bothered. It's water off a duck's back. I really, you know me, I'm not doing this for money. I'm financially stable. I don't need to do it. And I'm doing it because I love my country. I'm passionate about my country. I'd go down the football, and people say, you got to be careful you don't get nicked. It's the same thing. It's be careful thing. You know, I have, but if I love Birmingham, and if someone's threatening me, one of my friends, one of my family, I will stand and fight for what I believe is right. And that's protecting my own first and foremost, and then protecting my friends, my family, you know, Birmingham City, if it's match day, and then if it's not, my country. And I'll stand up and I stand for that. And that's where I'm about.
What was it like putting a flag up for the first time?
Done it for years anyway. I've always had flags in my garden, always had flags up, tattooed, got flags all over me. I know you've seen, I'm covered in, you know, I love the Union flag. I love the flag of St. George. I love, like, Scotland putting their flag up. I love when you go to, I don't know, you go on holiday, you say you're in America and you've got the American flag, stars and stripes everywhere. It's not even my flag. It makes me feel proud to be proud of them. And I just think it's absolutely brilliant. I said, if you go to a country and they're flying their flag, or their police force or their armies walking around, they've got their flag of their country, fair play to them. They're protecting their borders, and I believe in closed borders, and I believe in protecting what's yours, and I think that's the way forward. And that's why when we've come across the woke lefties that hate the flag, that cry their that go, oh, we're scared, and I get back to that National Front thing with the football. I get that, like, we get people in the 50s, when we put the flag up outside their house on a lamppost, they're like, please don't put that Union flag, put the white and red one on, like the St. George. And they're like, yeah, put that one. Whereas younger people will say, don't put the St. George. And some people class that as an EDL flag, and they class that as a National Front flag. I can get their mindsets, but if we can take this back off anything that's racist, if we can take this back and show you that this flag is all of us as a whole, and it just represents and it makes us feel a bit better from what our government's doing, because under the banner of that flag is our government, and our government under that flag, Starmer, he's sat there. Have you seen him on the boxing? He's trying to punch the thing. Like, he's in charge. He's head of that flag, and he's the master in chief, and he couldn't fight sleep. And he's not
He's not a leader.
He's not a leader. He's not like our Queen was, and I'm a royalist as well. And people don't like the royal family, and I think if we eradicate the royal family, I think we are finished. I think that's the one bit of, we had them nutters around here. We're in London, aren't we? And we had them nutters throwing custard all over the Crown Jewels the other week. It's just disgusting. That's when our police should come in, forget battening football hooligans and having 50 police spotters following me up the road. Go into places like the Crown Jewels and get them young kids that are young lefties from these schools that are throwing custard and cakes all over the Crown Jewels. It's just disgusting. It's treason. They should be locked up. And people that take that flag down should be locked up as well.
You see, America, even when the American national anthem comes on, they all cry. They're patriotic. I don't think listen, we've got patriotism here in all countries in the UK, but I don't think it's as strong as other countries, and I think that's where the divide is coming in.
Yeah.
Like, if you're putting up a flag and somebody wants that flag down from that country, you should be sent to prison. You should be done for vandalism. Like, and I'm not fucking racist, and I don't want to be the guy, I've got black friends, I've got this or that, but it's just fucking common sense. It's a flag from the country that you're in. You've got to respect that flag at all costs. It's not a case of they're doing that for divide. It's just being patriotic for your country, because the country in the United Kingdom is losing its identity.
Really is.
I don't know about the Christianity thing. I was raised Catholic myself. I don't think there's as much Christians in the UK as there used to be. I think it's starting to grow a bit now.
Yeah, say that.
But I think there used to be families here, 5 and 6 kids, married at 18. I think everything's changing. The UK is very multicultural, but the UK is known, England, Scotland, as a white nation, a white Christian nation back in the day, family life. And I think it's all changing. I understand people do get scared as well because of the National Front. Maybe they've raised up in it. I had Narendra on. She was getting called mad words. So I can understand how people can hate or be scared of certain things, but there's got to be common sense put in place. There's got to be an understanding of why he's doing it. This is the reason. And it's not that deep, but people just want to fight. People just want to complain. How did you realise how big it would have went with raising the colours, and how far it would have went with everybody joining in?
Yeah, I mean, it is a brilliant togetherness that we've got under the banner of the flag, and I love it. But like, it's like there is like a few guys that have come against me at the football, and then they're on the outskirts of the firm, and they're I shouldn't even mention what colour they are, but they're black guys, and they've gone, I've got a problem with this, or I've got a problem with that, and I get it, and I want to. Like, even grab them people and go, it's not about colour or creed. This isn't even about religion. It's about what's right and what's wrong. And it's about that we're in our country under a Christian banner, but Christianity invites everybody in, and it's not one way and this way or the highway. It's a great thing, and we are losing our identity. And I think that if we can get some of that back, and we can and I think we are getting it back. I really do think we are. I think for me to have, little old me from Birmingham to have like 2.5 million views on something, it's just mental. It's absolutely mental. It's just crazy.
What sort of problems have you ran across with putting up flags? Because I've seen videos when people are ripping them off and screaming and shouting.
Yeah.
I'm going to call the police. People have been shouting.
Yeah, people have called the police on us. People have called the police saying we're inciting hate, fascist, Nazi, this, that and the other. I'm like, that flag eradicated Nazi Germany. You go to Poland and you have a look what they wanted to do. Them Germans wanted to exterminate everybody. I I don't know if you'd have gone left anyway. When you get off that bus, it was which way do you go? And unless you was, tall, blonde hair, blue eyes, you was gone. If you had any sort of pigment in your skin, or and Hitler was a
I'd have
raving,
been fucked
you'd
then.
have been fucked. Hitler was a raving psychopath, and that's not what we're about. We're not, far right. It's just a flag, but what it stands up for is more than that for me. And I've had a bit of grief, but who doesn't get grief from what they're doing? I've put flags up in my local village, and a woman's come out sort of saying that she's, disgusted and nearly crying and all this. And it's the people that we're getting the problems off are the middle class, white, liberal, wokey lefties that think that they're in this bubble of a community. And the guys that are from the, from the 50s, from the black community, they're English people they're English British people that are under the banner and going, well, yeah, we're British, we live in Britain, we're born in Britain. They're generational, so it is what it is. And they're fitting in, and guess what? They go to school, they go to the doctors, the dentist, they pay tax, and we're all the same. So when people do that, it means that they're integrated properly, and they live within a culture and a country where we, we're not like Spain where you got to pay to use the toilet, but we go to the toilet properly and correctly. Whereas the people that are coming in that are from, perhaps might have the same pigment of the skin, are coming from a third world, so they're not going to integrate the same as how we've been brought up in UK schools. And I believe that the people that are coming here are economic migrants.
What is the laws for actually putting up flags? Is there any laws?
It's called an article on a lamppost. So if you're going to ban the flags, then the person that puts the village fate and tie ups, that's the same sort of thing. But the council actually use lampposts, you see, to put up, if there's planning applications in the area, and they put it on the local lampposts. So it will backfire in their own faces. So we're waiting for that to happen. The winter's come along, so we're waiting for the councils to go that it looks scruffy. We've got a project going on all throughout the winter at raisethecolours.org.uk, and they are to keep the flag wagons on the road. We've got the cherry pickers, and we're going there. We're maintaining the flags and making sure they look like, pristine and as good as we can. We're getting donations off people for flags, and people are pinpointing, could you do this road or could you do that road? And these are people that are perhaps work for companies where they can't be seen to be liking their own flag or their own country. People that work for the NHS that have to sit on the middle, fire brigade, all the blue light services. They're all have to be very. We haven't got an opinion, and why should you not have an opinion on the flag of your country? Because people will say that means this or that means that. Well, for me and for Raise the Colours, it means that we're trying to get unity, and we're taking that flag back off anyone that's racist, and we're just going to make ourselves feel a little bit better for what's going on in the country and what's going on with this government, and the invasion of what's happened.
How many flags have you actually put up?
Thousands upon thousands. No, it's in the thousands. It's brilliant. We're ordering like 2,000 at a time. So we'll order 1,000 Unions, 1,000 St George's, and now we're getting people requesting to have them sent out to different areas. We got Raise the Colours groups setting up everywhere all over the country, and Patriots are getting involved, and it's making people feel great. The thing that saved this government and saved is the winter and the cold nights, because it's getting chillier. So people will be out, there'll be more flags than ever going up. So I just hope over this winter period they don't bring out a law against the lampposts and the flags. I really do. But we'll keep going. It goes on the district and what council and what they think. We've done some lads in Solihull done. You've got Birmingham Airport and the runway as it comes down. You've got the lower lampposts, and they've done all around there. So when they're coming at Birmingham Airport, it looked amazing. And we've got reports the other night that the council, city council, that can't afford to collect your bin bags, on the knees, and they went out and we're paying for cherry pickers, we're paying for vans and lorries of cones, patrols, and closing off roads and all the rest of it to sort of take the flags down. And it's just, it's mental that they would want those flags taken down, but somebody in some council from somewhere doesn't like it. And there you go. Let's try and put it to the old, Cub Scouts walking down the street, or we only have one day a year when we show our flag, and that's on Armistice Day, on Poppy Day. And I just don't think it's as big as it should. St George's Day has never been celebrated as big as it should be. If you're a Catholic, Paddy's Day is a great one, and they're sort of trying to eradicate everything out of communities now. And Paddy's Day in Birmingham, in Digbeth, where obviously the Blues community, we all congregate there because that's where the home stadium is. But like, that's sort of gone now as well. And like, we'd never go down to Paddy's Day and start going, you can't have Paddy's Day here because we don't agree with it. This is our country. Just that's Paddy's Day and you carry on. And it's from whatever culture you're from. If you support something, you're right to support it. But the people that I'm dealing with in my own community and where I live, they're like got a war against me to take these flags down and then ripping the St. George and ripping the Union flag down and saying, we know what you're doing. I think, well, what am I doing? I just like the flag of my country.
What are they saying you're doing? Like for people who was maybe raised in the 50s, the 60s and 70s, especially with the National Front, who maybe there was a lot of racism there. Like people it wasn't just gay bashing, like people of colour were getting battered.
Yeah.
So they were scared.
I've never ever seen that.
Yeah, we weren't born.
I weren't born.
But what would you say to those people who are scared and maybe scared of the flag because they maybe think it is right-wing extremist kind of stuff and racism?
Well, this, like you're saying, homophobic, xenophobic, whatever they might be, bashing people for what they believe in. If anybody like that was around me or you now, we wouldn't have it, would we? We would stand our ground. We wouldn't turn our heads. We wouldn't bow our heads. I would definitely myself make a forefront to go, I'm not having it. You're not part of me and I want you away from me. And we'd do our bit to stop it. And we're just not about that. And that's what I'd like to say to these people, that it's the flag of our country and we're not doing it to divide and cause division because it's under the banner of this country. So why are we trying to divide? It's just crazy. And we went to an area called Sturchley and that's when it all started. And when the videos started to go viral and a guy come out the shop and he was a white guy and he said, this country's finished and all the rest of it. And you're doing this and you're doing that. And I'm just thinking, mate, it's a flag and he wouldn't have it. And now this guy has started putting all Palestinian flags up everywhere because he thinks I've got something against Palestine and Israel and all that. I'm not bothered. I'm bothered about my own country. And that's it. I'm not far right. I'm not far left. I'm just a brummie who is sick and tired of what's going on in this country. And I think we need to come together under the banner of the flag and be a bit patriotic and unify together and stop what's going on.
Yeah, so for me that's simple, but people's brains are so easily warped with social media. Like you say, raising your flag for England or Scotland, and then people jumping on the bandwagon with Palestine or Israel. I'm not asked about anything outside of Scotland or UK. I'm not asked.
No,
my kids are here. That's
Correct.
my main concern. I don't give a fuck about the rest. There's wars went on for thousands of years. There's wars go on in Palestine, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, Nigeria. If you want to start trying to protect human beings, start protecting Nigerians and other humans who are getting slaughtered all around the world. I think people are easily brainwashed to then support it. If Israel and Palestine's getting so much attention on the media, for me, there's a reason behind it. I know. So there's a lot of silence behind the Nigeria side of things. Like, I'm not educated enough on all this outside stuff, but it is frustrating when you see people with all different flags, because if people knew certain laws in Palestine or Israel, and you go take your daughter there, go and take your gay brother there, like go and
good luck, yeah.
Yeah,
so you get on there.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Because
like,
we're all right here.
Yeah,
we're nice people. I mean, a year ago, everyone had the Ukrainian flags up. Now it's the Palestinian flags. Then it was the Stop Oil. Then it was the plastic in the sea. Then it was Syria. And it's like things get forgotten about then. And is that war finished now? Is the Syrian thing finished? Is the Ukraine thing finished? It's like, where do we get? All I'm bothered about is what's going on coming into my country, our country, and under our banner. If you play the line, then if you're playing our tune, then we're fine. And I just think that our government's so weak, and I think we're giving so much money to these other countries, and I just think it's completely wrong.
People jump on trends. People want to be trendy because they jump on the majority of the trend.
Yeah.
Ukraine, Palestine. Nobody really knows the information. For me, it's not a case of that the soldiers fighting the war. It's for me who's funding the wars, who's pulling the strings behind them. That's my questions, but I like to think I'm educated enough on certain things to not just fall into their bullshit and not just, I don't want to gravitate towards any sides. That's why I interview left, right, people who raise Palestine flags. I want to understand why they're doing it, because everybody does what they do because of why is the way they've seen things, and everybody sees it differently. So I'm not telling people do this is the right way. You could be wrong. I could be wrong. We've got certain beliefs that's bang on point, but there's things we'll disagree on, but that's okay. We're living in a world where everything's soft and everybody's just want to fight and argue, and you're ripping down your country's flag and raising another country's flag. I've got people giving me shit online about talking about flags, but they've got a flag of Palestine, Ireland, other place, Ukraine, and I'm thinking, what the fuck are you talking about?
Confused people.
And they're from Scotland.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be so confused that you forget where you come from.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you don't like where you come from, fuck off.
Fuck off back there. And that's where I'm at with it. It's like, if you don't like it, you know, follow suit or just ship out or go over there and see what it's all about and go and have a look. If there's kids starving and dying like there was in the 80s in Ethiopia, for example, and we sent aid and, you know, Comic Relief and all the rest of it. But when you hear that Comic Relief sending money to aid people to be getting on boats and whatever they're doing, I just think it's just a big scam. And I think it is over the top. And I think it is powered by the higher powers that be, and it's bigger than government level. Because if I was in government now, I'd go, all right, you know, the Royal Marine Commandos that are all on standby, just nip into the channel on 3 or 4 ribs, just stop the boats. Can you do that? Yeah, no problem, sir. It'll be done overnight. Why is it still happening? Why have we got the best technology ever? We can spot submarines, Russian spy subs under, you know, thousands of miles away, under the sea, this, that, and the other, with a drone, and we can do this, that, and the other. Yet you can't see what I've seen on the beaches of Calais and Dunkirk, going like, that boat's going to be in the sea in a minute, going to France, and we've sort of stopped it. And I'm just a bloke from Birmingham. So it just blows my brains, and I just think it's a complete scam. I think that the cultures that are coming to this country and why, and the people that are coming, they're not asylum-seeking migrants. And if they are, then seek asylum and you go through the proper vetting process. These people are coming over for another purpose, and that's the worry, because the men that I've seen are all fighting age men from Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Gambia, from Africa, going through Libya. And then I've also seen people from Afghanistan, northern, and, you know, there's different parts of Afghanistan and different sort of cultures within that country. So you got like the people that are towards like Mongolia side, and then you got the people that are towards Pakistan side, and they're different parts of, and they clash with each other, yet they're meant to come and integrate in our country, and then integrate with people from Africa on a different continent in Europe, going through Europe and out of the EU and then into England. And then we go, there's the hotel with loads of meals every day. It's just bananas. And we'll pay you, and we don't know who you are, and you can walk around the streets, and you can kill people, and it's all right.
What do you think the agenda is behind it? What do you think, if you went that deep and down the rabbit hole with it, with the agenda on why it's been allowed to happen? Some people say digital ID. There's other theories about it. Again, I just stay open-minded to all, because I don't really know. I'm
the same. I'm open-minded, and I don't want to go down as one of these, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist, or his theory's this, or his agenda's this, or this, that, and the other. I just want to stop them boats coming into my country. Then we'll deal with the legal migrants that are here already. Then we'll deal with why they stood here for 5 years in a vetting process, and why they're allowed to roam the streets for 5 years in a vetting process. If you do something illegal, you should be locked up. If I break into America, I ain't seen the light of day. I'm locked up until they know who I am, what I'm doing, where I'm from. You know, you mentioned America earlier. You know, you go to America and you mess about, you're in trouble. You go to America, I mean, you know, they play that Stars and Stripes. They're patriotic, and and you can't blame them. And, you know, you are going to get a few slipped through the net and homegrown. But for me, I just can't believe what's going on. I don't know if it's the big boys like your Amazons, your Ubers, your Deliveroos, all these big boy companies that are the biggest companies in the world. I don't know anyone that works for them, and I don't know anyone I don't know how you apply for a job for them and who they are. I mean, I've just come to you now, and there's just Uber Eats and Deliveroo everywhere, and I don't want to stereotype, but they look like the guys that were on them boats. But I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I just want to stop it.
Yeah, but if I can sign up for Uber Eats today with my ID, I can give my login details to anyone, and they can use it.
Exactly. So you give them login. So that's what we all think's happening, don't we? But it's all a conspiracy, and we think. So if we think it, we're just the normal people on the street. The government must know it. Why won't they stop it? Because the government know they're coming across on small boat dinghies, which they call it small boats. I've seen it firsthand. They're not small boats. These are massive dinghies carrying nearly 200 people, right? It's a conveyor belt. They're not just using that dinghy that's brand new and then just leaving it. They're out there, and they're conveyor belts coming in and out and in and out. And if they're in a foot of water, the French police can't touch that dinghy. So they're not ripping them off. I've seen it firsthand. Once they're in that water and it's over their knees, the French police are done. It goes then, and then it's to the French maritime police. And then the maritime police go, which way do you want to go? We want to go that way to England. And then our lot stood on the 12 miles going, okay, we'll tug you now. And they're just towed on. And then they're going into the old Dover catamaran, and they do the transfer ships, and they got the rescue ships, and then they got escort boats. And then they're into the old, where the hovercraft used to be, which is converted into the check-in hospital, which no one's ever seen because it's completely top secret. No one's ever seen the handover of immigrants in the sea to our RLNI. You see the odd photo, don't you? And it's always the trophy photo, the token photo of the man holding the baby and the woman holding the baby. They've got T-shirts on. It's middle of summer. It's just that token photo. You got the photo of the French police holding the riot shield with the gas, and you got a woman with a baby. It's a load of shit.
But that photo alone can change a narrative of millions.
Exactly.
And that's where the divide comes in.
Yeah.
Unless you've seen it with your own eyes. Had Narinder on, who's very left, very outspoken, says everything's about racism with stop the boats and that. But
she took the piss out of me.
She's not seen the other side, like I say, I thought she was all right, man.
Yeah,
I thought she was down. Totally changed my perspective of who she is, online to who she is. In person, fucking brand new she was. And a lot of people might not like that, but I can only speak if I do treat me. But she thinks it's all about racism. She thinks it's just angry is middle white men fucking hating on people of colour because she doesn't see a problem with illegal immigration.
I mean, Gary Neville said that, didn't he? Angry middle-aged white men. That's what you are, and you're causing division and divide. I'm like, Gary, they're not. These are men that are paying their taxes, which you've never done, Gary Neville. You've never sat on the building site with the lads in the freezing cold, looking in your bank balance, going, I've got no money for another 2 weeks till I get paid. Then going, oh, what am I going to do now? I've got the kids' Christmas presents. The missus is on the phone. It's the birthday. The kids need new shoes. I'm in the shit. The cars, the alternator's going on the car. All the problems that we all have day to day. Gary Neville's never had none of them. And he goes out and pipes about men of our country that are making themselves feel better by going to work and going, do you know what? We're going to put a flag on the building site. He's gone up there like the big I am that he is and ripped down the flag. I think he's a fucking piece of shit, man. I really do. I think he's an absolute weak man. I think he's brainwashed. He's a champagne socialist, and he's one of these liberal absolute idiots. I just can't stand the bloke for what he said. He's gone right down in my estimations. He was one of the best bloody right backs going, and I just think he's just ruined himself saying that. And I want everyone to go on them terraces and wherever he is, just slag him off and tell him what he is, because those kids on that building site probably just felt like shit, freezing cold, building houses for some rich bloke, going like, what are we going to do here now? We'll put a flag up to make ourselves feel better, because they can't, come to France with us and explore. They probably aren't in a financial position where they're going to go to the missus, I'm going to go and do something about it. Because missus go, you lose your job, we're in the shit. And believe me, people like Gary Neville would put you in so you lose your job. And that's what's happening. We've got people from the police, the fire brigade, the ambulance service, working in the NHS, and they go, we love what you're doing. It's fucking brilliant. We love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And if we make you guys at home feel good by what we're doing by raising a flag or going to investigate what's going on in France and stopping a few of these dinghies, then we're going to keep doing it and we ain't going to stop.
Angry middle-aged men, the same men who paid his wages for 15 years. Like, that is fucking nuts to me. But he never really sang in the national anthem either. He always claimed that he was. But what's his background then? Like, why would he go against? Is that because of his sponsors? Or because of people he works with?
I think it's.
What was his motive to even?
I think
do
it's
that?
inbred in you in life, and I think with me, obviously the patriotism was inbred in me from my granddad to my mum to myself, and I try and do that in my children. Gary Neville, his dad was called Neville, so there's something confused going on there because it's mental, and I'm making a joke of it, but his dad's called Neville. Gary Neville never sung the national anthem for whatever reason, and there's probably, if you looked into it, I can't really be bothered because I couldn't care less about the bloke, but if you looked into it, I think the guy's probably just confused. He doesn't really realise what he's doing. He's wearing that badge of his country, yet wouldn't sing the national anthem, which represents that badge and what we've done over history forever. Those lads that won the World Cup, where we've got we're a Scotland-England thing here, but we won the World Cup at the end of the day.
Bastard, you got to throw that in, didn't you?
Come on, Archie, guys.
I'm just happy to be in the World Cup.
Yeah. That was a good one. We had some good crack with you, like in Germany.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I just think, it's our national anthem, like sing the national anthem, and he just doesn't want to do it. Then he wants to go public to go, he's ripped a flag down off a bill. I just think the guy's just confused. And I think he's very much the same as the other woke middle class lefties that don't really understand the pain and heartache, and they've only got that to look forward to. You look at the countries like Scotland's a prime example. Look how good Scotland are away from home. Look how good you travel and follow because you love your country. Can't knock it. You've got blokes putting their national costume, the kilt on. You've got the pipers playing, and I go, it's brilliant. I mean, me and Danny Tomo, we went to France the other week. Now we've got a ritual playlist of songs that we play when we're going over the border, and it's and the one is from the Queen's procession as the Queen got laid to rest. She had the Scottish pipers on, and it's unbelievable. And that was our Queen of our country, and she was in Balmoral and stuff like that. She loved Scotland, didn't she? And it's just like, it's Britain, it's British, and we're all as one, and we're all part of it. And that's what I think we're about. And that's why I know the Celtic thing, I just can't have that either. They turn their back on the national anthem. They've got Palestine flags now. I think you're just confused, lads. You're confused. I love Rangers, and I love people that love the country, and why would you not? And I love people that love their country. And if Celtic, if people have, from that sort of football team want to turn their back on the national anthem, then go and live in Ireland or go and do that if that's what you think. And I'm not against what the Irish guys are doing with they've had enough. And I think a lot of countries all over Europe have sort of got to the point where they've just had enough, and they're just like, we can't.
Yeah, because I think that was the first time like Belfast and Dublin kind of worked together, like the Ireland and Northern Ireland, because there was too much happening that they actually united. And that's what I'm saying. If you don't respect the flag that you're from, then fuck off. I think Celtic's problem is it's the connection with Ireland, and they think it's freedom fighters. They think but they don't understand it enough. If you love Palestine that much, go there.
Go there, have a go.
Do you know what I mean?
Good luck for you.
Fucking go there. But you've gone through it all then. You've started raising the flags. Like I say, you've got a good business. You've been a hooligan. Life is going good. Started raising the flags, but then you've went deeper again. Now you're going, stopping the boats, and you've took it to another level with illegal immigration. How did all that kick about?
Yeah, well, we just, obviously stuff was going on in the local areas. People are getting raped. Girls are getting raped. Girls are getting story after story after story. There's another one on the way down now, Weston-super-Mare. It's just terrible what's going on. There's a story in every single county, and I think everyone can tell a story of what's happened. There's a girl, Katie Fox, that's from Birmingham, and she's from Northfield, where we're from, and she went to Birmingham City Centre a few weeks ago, and the Christmas lights got switched on. She never come home. Her family's devastated, ruined for the rest of her life. They are done and dusted. You've got
what happened?
She got I think she got her throat slit. She got stabbed about 20 odd times. It's not been in the papers. No one knows. We went there and done a vigil. We hung some flags out, and the police have cleared it all away. People that were there from every ethnic, multicultural background, they didn't know what had gone on. And it's just a terrible story. It's just a terrible story. And it's things like that. Well, we can't let this happen. I don't want to be looking at my inbox and the girl is crying on the phone to me saying, I can't take my daughter to the park. I live next door to a HMO, and it's full of Afghanis and Eritreans, and I'm scared to death. And I'm looking the people are scared in their own country. They're scared because they don't know we don't know what we're living with within. And what's happening is these nutters are going into these, look at Southport. Look at the guy that come back, got released, then done. It's just mental. What is going on? We're overstretched. We're done. The NHS is stretched. The police are stretched, and we're full. And we need to look after our own first. How can you have veterans and single women of this country, doesn't matter what background you're from, that are on their own with children perhaps, and yet illegal migrants come into the country and got better care, health care, better service, better meals, better everything. And how can this work? It's just not right.
What was it like going for Cali to the first time? Were you in threat? Were you in danger?
Yeah, it was good.
How many of you went? Shout out to Danny Tomo as well, doing good work. Love Danny.
Yeah, he's great.
And plus he's on a good path as well. His head's screwed on.
He's gone into Christianity heavily, and we're on a, we've all joined together. There's people, Liam from the Crowborough scene, we've joined together, like me and Danny have joined together. like me and you have joined together. We've all sort of joined together through what's going on in the world now, and we're on this journey and this path together. And it's I think it's brilliant because we can all relate to something or somewhere or somebody that's been in distress from what's happening with the government. And I just think that they're not standing up for the people that are here already. And I think there might be an agenda, like people conspiracy say, oh, they're getting them in to get the votes, but they can't vote. So I just don't get why they're doing it, why they'd want to do it. I don't know what deals are being made. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I just do not get what's going on. I know we have influxes. We had influxes of Polish, Hungarians, like, 5 or 6 years ago, but these guys come in, played the game, can't get a job because of all the Polish. That was the old thing, wasn't it? Whereas Polish seem to have gone back now, earned the money and gone back and paid the way and paid the taxes. No one was demonstrating against Polish guys. No one was demonstrating against, Pakistani, Indian, African, Nigerian, people that are legally coming in. No one's doing protests there. Chinese people. I work with Muslims. I work with Chinese, and no one's protesting. Everyone pays the wage and plays by
the rules.
The rules. Then
And it integrates into the culture, which is the most important thing.
Exactly. It's all about the culture. Yeah.
How bad is it? How bad is illegal immigration for your own eyes? Because you've seen it firsthand. Like, how does it? First of all, how bad is it in your own eyes?
40,000, they reckon that's here now, but only 32,000 are in hotels and HMOs tonight. That means 8,000 will be given status within the first however long. So I just think it's bent. I think the figures are bent. And for me to see what I've seen in them camps, 40,000 could be 80,000. When we were there, the first time we went, the 8 lads, we went down and we made a pact. We went, right, we'll go together. Everyone keeps done. We got the tactical gear on, ordered it off the Amazon. And it was just a farce, really. It was just like, what are we doing? It was like we looked like we were going on fancy dressed as commandos. It was hilarious. We went across and we ended up like, shit got real. And we're like, fucking hell, we literally got off at Calais, turned left. Within 30 seconds, there was 100 Sudanese queuing up behind barriers in orderly fashion. NGOs there, 2 vans. NGOs had the jackets on, clipboard, and they were queued up, ready to go. And we pulled in. Lads were going, wait. It's all on the channels that we all on our socials. And I was like, hello guys, where you going? You going for the boat? They went, yes, we go for the boat. 2 hours we have to go for the boat. I was like, fucking hell. We're like, jackpot. This is like what we've come for. We thought we'd have to search for it. It's right in front of your face. So that camp that we went to, then we went from there to another area. And when we got there, middle of the day, there was a boat stranded on the beach, 100 immigrants on it. The police just stood around smoking. And I was just like, what is going on here in this country? And then we sort of went back to some digs, went back to Dunkirk, searched around, found another camp which was predominantly Asian, another camp which was predominantly African. And they're keeping them in, and we were sort of working it all out. We went back to that beach and the tide had come in and that boat had gone. So we're like, fuck, right, them other ones are moving. We need to get into the dunes. And we got into the dunes on the night. Cars come across. We've got it all on footage, and you got all these lefties that are hijacking Raise the Colours accounts, hijacking pictures of myself and Danny and the boys going, it's AI, it's this, it's that. I've got the footage live. I'm not a computer tech, but I know what's real and what's not real. And we've got NGOs driving on them beaches, guiding these people across onto the dunes, and the boats are out there waiting, and the boats are circling round and round, and they're coming in, picking 2 up, back out 2 up, and it's orchestrated. And there's, the guy that was on that one boat when you see me in the sea, and I'm swimming out trying to stop them migrants getting on. He looked at me, smiled and waved and stuck his fingers up at me, and I just think, fucking, you don't give a shit, do you? You cheeky fuckers, because you think that we're just a soft touch. Why aren't our military there? So legally and lawfully, we're gonna take the bull by the horns, and Operation Overlord is going to come into play, and we're going to look to try and make a change. And I think we have made a change, because 1,500 come in on that day, and since that day, which is over a month ago now, nearly 6 weeks ago, not one immigrant's come across, so they say. But is that to stop people coming over? Is it to put things in place? Is it to move the operation to other beaches? Because it was at Sangat camp originally in the last 10 years, and it's moved from there. We've been there now. You can literally see Dover. we could like see it on the binoculars. I'm like, no way, there's the White Cliffs. You start thinking, I could swim that, but it's a long way. But you can see Dover, and to see it and think, bloody hell, the Germans got this far and we held them back in the war. Our forefathers did. Why aren't our government holding them back? Why aren't our government stopping these young men that are on a rubber dinghy? Why aren't they doing it? Why they're helping them? Why they're guiding them in? And blows my brains, mate. Blows my brains. And I've got fire in my belly. I'm not going to stop.
How many comes over every day?
In the summer, he's got government stats. And there's, in the month was 40,000 gone across. So you divide that by the 12 months on an average. It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. It's a lot of boats.
3,000.
It's a lot. But none have come in since we've started. Since Raise the Colours started, none have come in, which is great. And we've made a difference. And we've stopped some boats.
What was it like in the camps? Like, what are you seeing? So are they dividing different countries, different colours? Like
in different camps and different areas. And then within the camps, there's different countries. So I don't want to mention the names of the camps because I don't want people to take it off their own back yet and go over there. But the couple of the camps that we went to, it's mainly African, Eritrean. So it's predominantly an African camp, predominantly a Syrian and Afghani camp. So when we was going to these camps, the African guys are more chilled and laid back and not as violent. The Afghanis are serious guys, and the Kurds are serious guys, and they want to kill you. There's a video, and one come behind me with a knife. I've got the life, because there's all life vests and life jackets, and Decathlon are handing them out, and the NGOs are giving them food, and they're all getting prepared. We monitor the camps from a distance, and when we see the camps, you can see the activities they're not going to go today. You can just tell. And then when it's like the weather clicks, you can see them packing up and they're going to go. And when you know they're going to move, the supplies that the NGOs give with aid and help from the police, this is what shocked us. It goes from cooked pots of stew and food and soups and water on tap to cans of pop, like pre-packed food ready to go. So they're going to make the move. And that's when we seen them queuing up in these lines. And I was like, what is going on here? This is like orchestrated. They know it's happening. So why aren't our government, if we're giving them 850 million over the last 10 years and Starmer's give 280 odd million, why aren't we just sending just a team of lads from Birmingham and going, right, just go and stop that in that camp? But they're not. We're told, get away. It's a secure zone. You're not allowed here by the French police. So why are we paying the French police all this money on a weekly basis? Why can't we even see what's going on? Why can't our government go there to actually go, all right, you're facilitating this? I've been to Paris. Me and Danny went to Paris and we spent a couple of days in Paris because we think they come in and the central hubs through Paris, and that's the main train lines in. We found documents on the beach in the clothes that the NGOs tell them to take off, and within them clothes is the documents from a lot are in Holland. There's a problem there. There's a problem in Belgium, and they come down through Lille and through Paris. And these people then the goal is to get to Calais. And when they get to Calais, then they're divided into the camps, and then they're told where to go, where to stand, and what to do.
Would they get benefits in any other country?
No, they try and claim asylum, but they don't get the benefits that we give them, and that's why. And they're outside. So whereas our government, they will put them inside. So it's out of sight, out of mind. So they'll put them in like the Crowborough camp, which is an ex-military base. They'll put them in hotels. They'll put them in the HMOs as and when they're vetted. And the worry for me is because these people are so dangerous and unvetted, and they're from countries where people of different backgrounds, mainly like what was talking about the left, they're second rate. Women, they're second rate. These men are soldiers. These men are good to pull a knife on you. They're good to brick and stone our cars. This is what they were doing over there. They're good to form a line and stand on, and they're good to attack us. And you've got NGOs from England stood by them and facilitating them, and I just think they're complete scumbags. It's not a humane thing. This isn't humanity because they're in a safe country. It's that they want to get to the UK.
Is there any women and children there?
I'm gonna be truthful with you. I have seen women and children walking up streets in France, but not in the camps. So I don't know where they go. I don't know if in France. I don't want to be one of these guys that's, and this is where I don't know, and I don't want to get it wrong, and I don't want to be flat out. These are, I have seen, and the last trip I've been there 8 times, and I've seen a couple of sets of women and children once or twice. And for me, I don't want to not say that I haven't seen it, because I have seen it and it's the truth, and I'm just going to tell the truth. But I did see it, and I did feel like, oh, no, if we're going to help anyone, you can't have a woman carrying a baby, right? And I'm a humane guy. But should you come into the country illegally? The answer is no. If you need to come in, apply for asylum and go through the routes, because, Boris Johnson brought in 4 million he brought in when he was in term, legally. That's without the illegal migration. He brought 4 million asylum seekers in legally. A town, a city the size of Liverpool he brought in, and he integrated them into our communities. And that's why there's a massive change. Like, London's completely changed, isn't it? Tell me a Cockney that don't go, London's not London anymore. It's not, it's hard to find a Cockney, isn't it, in London?
So what do they get when they get here? Like, what's the sort of obviously their benefits and free healthcare, housing? Like, what do they get? People say they get iPads and mobile phones. Like, how true is it?
Yeah, it's really true. Yeah, I mean, they're getting that from NGOs.
And who has NGOs, for people who don't know?
It's a non-government organisation. So these are people that they're classed as a charity. So they'll set up, and you've got to think the left are very, very strong in what they do. They're very educated, as well as we are, who are central or right-minded. But the left will have people. I've had the left attack me personally. They're reading out my date of birth. They're reading out my home address. They're reading out when I last went to the dentist, the doctors. These are people that have got high positions, whether it be in councils, courts, doctors, dentists, NHS, where it might be. But they are then spreading that information out on these websites. So the NGO is Hope Not Hate, Care for Calais, Utopia 56, Antifa, basically. Criminal organisation in America. If you're part of Antifa, you're getting locked up. Whereas in this country, they can walk around with their Antifa masks on and say, you live here, you live there, and we're going to do this to you, and nothing happens to them. Whereas it's terrorism what they're doing there, that what they've done to me. And I'm not banging on about me, because I don't care. I'm at the point where I do not care. I'm in this now, and I'm not bothered about NGOs. I'm not bothered that when we go to France, NGOs are telling me my full name, telling me what I've done in my past and stuff like that. I'm not bothered. I'm bothered about what's going on in the future, and I'm bothered about protecting the women and children of our land, and that's my priority.
And what are they getting when they come here to the British shores?
Well, they come in. We've got some patriots that are following us at Raise the Colours, and they've infiltrated some of these HMOs. There's free dental care, healthcare, eye care. In the hotels, you've got your doctor. You've got 2 nurses that go in there. So you and I feel ill or not well. We don't get doctors in this country anymore. You can't get the doctor to come out to your house. You can't get a doctor's appointment at a GP surgery. You go to the hospital. It's like 20-hour waits. If you get a 12-hour wait, you're lucky. If you're in trouble in this country and you've got something wrong with you internally, or something where you need a scan or something like that, you're in trouble in this country. And we haven't worked, our forefathers haven't worked and done what they've done for our government to sort of just toss it up the wall and just mess about with it. Why are we giving so much money to all these people that are doing illegal things and coming to this country illegally, yet our elderly are dying in corridors of hospitals and stuff, or can't even get seen, or stood outside in an ambulance because there isn't a bed ready yet, and then the ambulance is warmer than the corridor. It's an absolute farce. So what these people are getting, we've got the paperwork, and we're going to do an investigation on it, and we're going to show the public what we've seen. These HMOs, like you're saying about Uber Eats and Deliveroo, we've got pictures, we've got videos. The motorbikes are in the kitchen, the Deliveroo bag's under there, the Uber Eats one's under there. This guy's moonlighting with his other cronies. These are Kurdish or Afghanis, and we've got a story on these guys which we're going to show. And they're working, and they're they're asylum seekers who can't work, so they haven't got national insurance numbers, but they're living under benefits. They're living in a HMO where the fat cat who owns the HMO is getting probably 3 times his rent. It's going to be refurbished for them. And I just think it's just a complete joke. They're getting the benefits of this beautiful country, yet the people of the beautiful country that have created it over the years, from wherever nationality you're from, we're getting penalised for it. I just think it's a joke.
What do you think about the British men who own these hotels, who are then working with the government to get funding to then put up illegal immigrants?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the hotels, people have had their weddings cancelled because the hotel's been took over. And if you own a privately owned hotel, there's only a few that have gone, we're not doing it, we're out. And I respect them so much because they're the type of people that I am myself. And it's not about the money, it's not about this, that, and the other. It's about stopping what's going on. And if we can all do our own little bit, I think it's great. But these hotels, I mean, it's the Ibis Hotel, which I want everyone to boycott, and I also want Decathlon boycotted because they are funding and they're behind a lot of it. And I found out that Ibis Hotel is actually a French company, and you just think, what is going on here? It's just mental. I mean, last week in France, to see 15 riot vans escorting these guys, I'm like, well, who's paying for that? That's where the money's going. It's clearly to escort them. You know, the NGOs, who is funding all these companies? You know, you and I have got more followers than some of these NGOs that have been out for 20 odd years. So who's funding them? Because they're not that big. I'm not saying you're not big, but yeah. But I'm just saying, like, it's mental. The money that's involved in this and the behind the scenes is crazy. And we've got to get to the bottom of it, and we've got to stop it. And I think with us all coming together, I think with everyone in the country coming together, we can do what Starmer was going to do in smash the gangs, because there is no gangs. There is no fat cats in Paris, in nice hotels, in Ferraris and Lamborghinis. The gangs are the police, the gangs are the NGOs, the gangs are the people telling these people who haven't got education like we have to circumnavigate across Africa, across Europe, from North Asia, and to get to Europe, to get to Paris, to get to Calais, and then Calais to England, because that's what's happening.
What are these illegal immigrants getting taught what to do and what to say? Did they get a checklist?
Yeah, there's checklists going on. A lot of them are told, don't say you don't know a date of birth because the country you're from, you don't have birthdays and whatnot. So then they're all given the 1st of January. They've got the checklist to say, a lot of them is to say they're from Eritrea, because Britain have got the deal with Eritrea where they've got if you're from Eritrea, it's definitely asylum. You can claim asylum if you're from that country. But for me, these people are going through, I mean, from Africa, the journey from Africa, I think it was like 12 safe countries before you get to England. So I don't get why. A lot of them are coming through Turkey. A lot of them are coming through. There's an island off Italy, and there's an island on Italy where the migrants get to. It's like a halfway house and they're home there. I want to look into that. There's loads of stuff I want to look into, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it all. But for me, before I go further afield, like the furthest I've been so far is Paris. And it was a bit too far for me. I got to Paris and I thought, yeah, you know, these migrants do want to get to England, but they just aren't on that train yet, and they're looking to go to Belgium first or to Holland first. So I know other countries have got the problem, but what they do, other countries do, they push that problem on, and they all end up in Calais, and then they all end up in the UK. And for us to have the brunt of it all, and then to cater for it, and then for our NHS to suffer, and our national health, you know, I just think we're on our knees, and we're done.
But surely some of them want to work. Surely some of them want a better life. Do you think every one of them is here to cause mayhem, cause destruction?
No.
Because when you look at all the Christmas markets now, they've all got barriers up. Yeah. Because apparently someone's planning terrorist attacks at these Christmas markets. Even the schools are planning some sort of terrorist attacks where they're doing lockdowns for kids to go under tables. If anything happens to our school over the next few months, there'll be uproar. I believe there'll be a civil war. I believe, right, enough will be enough.
I completely agree.
I think it's only one catastrophe away, like another Southport, for people just to blow their top.
I completely agree.
They've done well to actually stop the riots, but that's what they've done with the big sentences. But there'll come a stage where nobody will fucking care. They'll need to jail everyone, and that's a scary thought, because the civil unrest and the madness, where does it go and where does it stop, you know? But I think there's only one bad thing away like Southport for people just to go, nah, fuck your sentences, give me what you've got, I'm fighting for my people.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm sort of at that sort of point as well myself. I mean, I'm putting myself in the harm's way, but I don't care. I'm not bothered. I'm not scared. These people aren't a threat. These people are economic migrants. People say, be careful, this, that, and the other. You know, they're living in camps. They've got knives on them. You know, if I'm out fishing or camping, you know, I've got my fishing knife at the side of my bed where I'm asleep under the stars, because you just never know. And that's what these people are doing. But they're not a threat at the moment. What the issue is why they want to get here, and what the end goal is, and what the plan. And it goes back to like some people that follow what we do will go down the route of the Muslim terrorism, you know, X, Y, and Z since the World Trade Centers and stuff like that. For me, at the moment, I'm concentrating on illegal migrants coming into our country on small boat dinghies that are large boats. And then I'm going to concentrate on the migrants that are in this country, and then we'll look to just try and get some sign of presence and get some sign of voice and get some kind of, we've had enough. Because for me, it doesn't really, like, if you're a Labour government, Tory government, they're the same. There's no sort of stop. If I was going into power, not a politician, I don't want to be, but if I was, you'd just go, that stops now. And I can't understand why and how we aren't getting the military to just stop it, because it's like they're open with open arms. Our police force are just weak. You know, and you wouldn't want to be a cop because there's no authority. A young kid does something, they just put a camera in your face. And that's what gets me with the football thing, because at football, it's old school and you're getting a baton around your legs, and you deserve to, because you're running to have a scrap with someone else. But for what's going on now with these migrants, I think it's just a complete joke, and it's got to stop. And it's blown my brains. It's took over my life.
Why are they allowed knives?
Well, in France, they're just exactly, there's no checks on them in France. These guys, we got it on video the other week.
Surely they must be searched when they get into camps and stuff. I'd imagine they'd be fucking doing their own and killing their own, stabbing their own as
There's a lot
well.
of murders in the camps. There's a guy, an NGO that come to me last week, and he was following me, trying to like get me out the camp. He wasn't. He was just letting the other migrants know this guy isn't one of us. So when I'm walking through and blending in, excuse me, didn't like it. So
was there any white illegal immigrants there?
no, they're wrapped up, like completely wrapped up. So because it's quite cold.
So you can't see skin colour.
Really,
because obviously, if you're a white guy, I'd imagine it'd blow your cover straight away.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. But we're all sort of wrapped up, and you know, and the NGOs just straight away let them know these guys are not here to help. We're here to expose what's going on and expose them NGOs. Really, I think they're the problem.
These NGOs English?
Yeah. One was a Brummie.
You're joking.
I'm not joking, mate. It's a Brummie. He's talking to me, knew my name and everything. Looked me in the eye. He looked me in the eye, knew everything, and he'd wrapped up to there.
So did they get a heads up that users?
I think they phoned from another camp and they seen the English car. But don't worry, Race the Colours have got a plan to get around that as well, and we're not going to stop, mate. We've got people that are from a military background, people that have had enough, that are educated, people. I've got a web designer woman just phoned me. I've got someone on about banners and flags, someone on about I'll answer this and I'll help you with that. And it's like what the military are doing. School teachers, we've had enough. Everybody, educated people have had enough. And that's why the left and people like Narinda saying we're far right and fascist right. These are people that aren't from this sort of, you know, outside protesting from back in the day. This is people all across the world, all across the country that are going, this isn't right. These are people from high, low, middle class, upper class, teachers, firemen, people on sites, building sites, people working as doctors. These are people all over that have gone, enough's enough. We've had enough. This isn't right. And our government are spending all our taxes. But, you know, that 20% of that hour you work is going on the government to spend your money, and they're not spending it how they should be spending it, and not spending it on people that are paying those taxes. We're sort of giving the money away. We're giving aid away all over, which, you know, if we're going to give aid away to other countries, then great. The billions we give away in aid every single year to all these countries for them to then just flee their own country and then come into our country illegally and then take the piss again and again and again is what we must stop.
I interrupted you there when you says that one of the NGOs was telling you about the killings or something inside the camps.
Yeah, he said, you don't know what's gone on here. This is inhumane. There's 2 people that have been shot dead in here in the last year. And I just thought, been shot dead? Who the fuck's got a gun in here? Because if I walk around my country with a gun, it's illegal. If these people think that's all right to be walking around with guns and knives, you seen the guy last week he come behind us with the knife. You know, and I'm like, this is mental. These people will be on a boat and we'll be in Britain in 25 minutes. And then they'll go, oh, I can't go back because it's a war-torn country. It's a complete joke. And these people think that that's okay. These aren't people fleeing the war-torn countries. They're living in jungle camps. There's a couple of camps. They're called jungles, and they are a jungle. So these people are hardy people. These people aren't scared about mucking in and sort of sticking together to get what they need to get, whether it be food, circumnavigating across Europe, trains, and then they're very clever as well because they're dealing with these NGOs that are giving them the tuberculosis tablets because of the diseases that they're carrying through. They're not in our culture and they're not brought up how we are.
Do they have diseases?
Yeah, we found multiple sets of tablets for tuberculosis on the beaches in Dunkirk. And the NGOs go after the boats have gone and they go and clear it all up. It's like they're clearing up the hidden truth of what's going on. We found letters of asylum. We found people's ID where they've got asylum in Holland. Yet they've gone to France to come to England.
Are they throwing their IDs in the water?
Yeah, 100%.
Are they told to do this?
Yes, 100%.
So what would happen if they had ID? Would they get rejected?
They get a rejection. So now
So to get ID,
they
come to the UK, they would get rejected, but no ID, they can get into the UK.
Yeah, they take their shoes off and they've all go with no shoes, so it looks like they've got completely nothing. So I think that's on the tick list as well. Something to do, they take their shoes off. They also
Sexuality as well.
Sexuality, yeah.
They say they're gay and
they say they're gay, and they all say that they're 17, aren't they? They're all 17.
So what does that mean? Under 18 they get
it? Yeah.
And there's no ID to prove that.
No ID.
So if you're getting there with a big fucking beard, look about 50.
Yeah. He's had a quick shave, and then I'm 15. There you go. And look at those two 17-year-olds that were walking around the park in Leamington last week, raped the 15-year-old girl. She filmed it on her phone, and she's saying, "Please hurry up," while they're taking it in turns to rape her and sexually assault her. And she's begging them to hurry up and finish. And then these guys then say they're 17 and the one's a juvenile and he can't be sent back. It's just a joke. It's a fucking joke. And our court systems, the prosecution systems, solicitors, lawyers, police, the trauma team, for what? For us letting them in on a dinghy last year. So I'm going to get on that beach. I'm going to stop that dinghy and stop these families, because that girl's life's ruined and destroyed. Her family's life ruined and destroyed. Just like all the other people that have been murdered through illegal migrants coming into country of unvetted people. We need to stop it. And that's what we need to do. And these lives are ruined. And the people that should hold their head in shame and that don't say anything is the government. Why aren't they out on the streets going, "We are so sorry, we're going to do this, we're going to do that"? They're not. But these families' lives are destroyed forever. And it will be this like my family, where I've got the generational thing of being a patriot. These people are going to have a generational thing of hurt and pain, of suffering. And these people will never be the same ever again. And it's affecting family after family after family.
What's the laws behind it for what you're doing though?
They are heavily trying to stop what we're doing. We got detained at the border last week. The British Border Force, our passports, when they press the passport down, that's when it all flashes up. They look at us like 3 times. The one guy even started smiling at us. And I thought, what's that sound on that machine? And they let us go through. And then we went to the French side and she just went, yeah, no, but as they do, straight. I thought, never stopped us. We're through. Brilliant. We've done the business. Got to France. We was there a couple of days, me and Danny. The last couple of hours, we found that boat and we was ruined from the trip. And we thought, we sort of bubbled the beach really where they go from. The NGOs had moved. It was like a nice sunny beach in France. And we're like, shit, we've fucked up here. We've made it ravey, made it on top. And went to a few of the beaches. We couldn't find these migrants. Then we seen the migrants getting on coaches with the army and police. And that's when we were like, fuck, what are we going to do? And then when we seen them moving, we're like, right, found that boat on the beach ready to go. And we were buzzing. And then all of a sudden, we went back to the boat 20 minutes later and the boat had been damaged by somebody. And, that boat weren't going in the sea that day and we was over the moon. And
what are they doing with their boats? Are they burying them? Like how many beaches is there can actually
the sand dunes, you see, there's 70 mile of beach, but there's dunes. So in the dunes go from the beach. So you got the sea and then a mile, say half a mile to a mile, is the beach. It's like, you know, like Western Supermare Beach. It's right, the sea's always out. It's like that, and it's really low. And then you've got the sand dunes, which is another massive area. And then you've got like woods. It's like, it's massive. It's like France is so much bigger than the UK. It's not one designated area, so to find them is quite hard. So you follow tracks. You see cars that have been driving on the beach. You see a lot of tracks in the sand, and we followed those. As soon as you put a drone up, signal blockers are on it, and they've got. So we've tried everything, and we're on it, and we've got a formula, and it works, and we get results from it.
Are the boats that they're coming over with being guided by drones from the UK or France?
No. So at the front of the job, so you've got these. They come on pallets, and we think the pallets are from Germany. So we think something's going on with the Germans, and these pallets, inside the pallet, you'll have the boat wrapped up on the pallet, and then when they get the pallet out, and it's a massive. It's not like a rubber dinghy. It's like a massive boat. It's like solid rubber. So the old philosophy is we'll slash the boats and we'll start. It's you'd need like some heavy duty stuff. So anyway, these dinghies are on these pallets, and they get laid out, and they've got all the there's a wooden thing at the back, and there's like wood that goes in the middle, and it's like structured. It's all ready to go. And then down the side of the boat that we found the other day, which was one of the best ones we found, all the pumps were ready. So where the people had run over the dune, and then they're all on their station to pump it up. Fuel cans were all there ready, and it was just like to see it. That had been up over the top and gone. And to see, we couldn't find the engine for that one, but we found an engine on the previous week.
So they're blowing the boats up, letting the air down. So
yeah, we think they put the boat there. There's no air in it.
So this is a brand new boat. So see when they come to the UK, where do those boats go?
Well, you tell me. I don't think they leave the water. I think they're in the water, and I think they're held. There is certain videos online, but all stuff online, I don't know if it's real, not real. I don't care. I want to see what I can see with my own eyes. And if I'm live or filming, or you know me, I'm not doing this to make things up. I'm not doing this for
bullshit. Because if you've got over line, it doesn't look good either.
Give a shit. Yeah. Couldn't give a shit. All I'm bothered about is stopping them boats. That's all I'm bothered about.
So they're getting new boats every day from Germany?
Well, I don't know if they're new, or if there's ones in the water, or if they're held somewhere, or if they're tested. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of that. But we've got some people, I don't really want to mention, they're on a maritime type job, and they've been asked on the job, what's your thoughts on, they're asked the question, what's your thoughts on illegal immigrants? And this guy went completely against it, blah, blah. And they went, oh, no problem then. You're going to, and he's working for, like, I don't want to say the company because it'll blow the cover of this guy. But these people are asked if they want to be helping to guide boats from the French maritime into the UK waters, and then into Dover, and then to get processed. So that's another investigation we're looking into. And it's people that are helping to raise the colours that are from all sort of backgrounds, and they're all going, I can help with this bit, I can help with that bit. And there's bits to this puzzle everywhere, whether it be from HMOs, hotels, back to the start with the NGOs and Paris, or back to, people going undercover in camps like the guy did the other night. It's just brilliant. And I've, spoke to that guy, and he's told me, and we're meeting up, and we're going to get together, and we're going to share our data, because we've all got this burning passion inside us that we know it's not right. We want to stop it. We really do want to do the Keir Starmer. We're going to smash the gangs.
So everybody goes to the hotels, women, children, grandparents, people of all colours. Why is everybody not just going to the shores? Why is everybody just not going and making a stand and saying nobody's getting in?
In Britain,
yeah,
the Dover side, because you don't see it, do you?
Going straight to the source.
Well, the source isn't. We don't know where the source is because it's all undercover.
So they're coming to different bits.
Yeah, when we done the flag drop they're coming into Dover, and the process there. When we done the flag drop at Dover, we didn't actually do it at Dover. We had to do it up the road at Folkestone, because the drone wouldn't go up in the air because they've got blockers on the drones, and it's so we, the likes of you, me, and people can't fly the drone out to sea and go, there's the boat doing this. No one's seen them videos. They're very far between, few and far between, because it's that iconic picture.
So they're stopping the drones from going up and actually with video, because it's easy to fly a drone and find out how many boats, how many people. You could do it in 24 hours. You can suss it out, no problem. So they've got something to block it straight away.
Yeah. So when we done the flag drop, that's when my eyes opened to it, and I thought, we can't even film our own flag. What's going on here? And then we moved the flag up, the drone would work, and we could do it from there. And we got told that by locals. They went, you won't be able to fly a drone. It's a blocked airspace. And I was like, really? So that's when we were like, right, we need to investigate this more. So yeah, these people are handed over at Dover. And we believe that then they're processed and then they go to various hotels from Scotland, Newcastle, all the way down the country. And then they've got hubs in there where they can choose which hotel and which region they want to stop in. And then they'll get transferred and moved around, and then they'll get their driving lessons, their free NHS, their glasses. They're even getting wigs. If they want wigs, there's wigs on the NHS form that we've got. I've got a physical piece of paper. It's printed from the NHS. It's not AI, it's real. And, you know, in the list of things, would you like a wig? It's just mental that they're getting all these benefits off our NHS for free, and they're breaking the law from day one coming into this country.
Do they get to choose where they want to go?
I don't know. I'm not too sure. It's at the moment, my bag isn't this side. My bag is stopping it this side. And if I get the travel ban, was touching on the travel, wasn't we, when I was going over there. And when we come back, that's when we got stopped by the we got detained for like 3.5 hours.
What's the left saying to it?
Oh, they're complete. They're all over me. They're saying that we're just far right, fascist, Nazis. They're setting up groups. They're very good online. They've got all them bots and stuff like that set up groups that copy us, put pictures in of us and pictures, you know, doing memes and stuff. I ain't interested. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about the left. You want to come and see me? You want to come and sit down with me? You want to have a sort out in the car park? Whatever you want to do. I'm easy. I'm not bothered. All I'm bothered about is protecting women and children in this country. And I want the men of England to stand with us. And I want them to come together under our banner, legally and lawfully. We can do something together.
So do you have any issues with refugees or legal immigrants?
No, I don't have any. I don't have anybody that's legal and lawful in this country. A refugee coming from a war-torn country that's fearing for their life. You know, we're Britain, aren't we? We're Christians, and that's what we do. We help, don't we? We've done that all along. But if you play by the rules and you're coming through the front door legally, you're welcome with open arms. But if you come through the back door illegally and then exploit us and then take the piss and then rape and murder our women and children and make people feel fearful on the streets, then you've got to go.
How bad is it for illegal immigration who are harming British people? Like, how bad is it? Because you'll see something online that could be enough to trigger someone to hate all illegal immigrants. Now, not every illegal immigrant is bad. There will be some good people, but I don't know them all, so I can't really make that assumption. But how bad is it when they're getting passed around in all different cities? Like, what's the crime rate? Because I know rapes in the UK went from like 11 or 12,000 over the last 10 years. It's now up to nearly 100 over the last 15 years. It's not all illegal immigration,
Correct.
but there is a lot of finger pointing to say and a lot of stats to say it's a high percentage from illegal immigration as well. So, but how bad is it for your own kind of research and what you've been doing of these cities being terrorised by illegal immigrants?
For me, I'm researching it and going into the cities and the stats and things like that. I'm not 100% on stats, and I don't want to say anything that's not factual and get it wrong. But all I know is it's never been this bad. It's never been as bad as it is now. People haven't been as scared as they are now. The amount of immigrants coming over isn't going down. The illegal immigrants, sorry. And these illegal immigrants that are coming over are laughing in our faces all the way from France. They're looking at us and laughing and going, we're coming to England. We want to come to England. They're smiling and laughing because they know it's a free ride here. They know they're on a good screw. You know, and I mean, if we sent back, what do we do? That Uranda thing just fizzled away, didn't it? Load of money that just went, oh, we won't bother with that anymore. The other thing, we're sending aid to France and we're sending money to France to stop them. They're still coming. It's still as bad as it is. 8 blokes from Birmingham have stopped more boats this year than our government. I think it's a disgrace. I think it's an absolute disgrace. And then I think when they're coming here, I think that the cities are under threat and pressure that we're like a pressure cooker and it's going to go. And I'm scared for my family. I'm scared for my missus, my kids, and I'm scared for my mum and sister and all the rest of it. And I'm scared that People are going to feel threatened in their own homes. We've got enough problems in this country, and every other country's got problems. Everyone's got problems with there's good and bad in every culture. But for us, we're just inviting the trouble. We're just inviting that trouble. And I don't think that we should have people in the system that's unvetted and that are coming from these countries where terrible, horrendous crimes have gone on, and it can happen in our country. And I don't think, why would we invite it in? I just can't get my head around why.
What do you actually think the outcome of it will be over the next 12 months?
I think if you'd done a poll, do you think there'd be civil war breakout? Possibly. Don't know about if it's in the next 12 months, but I think the country's on its knees. I think the country's ready to go. I think the government's just got weaker and weaker and weaker over the years. Whether you vote Tory or Labour, I think it's gone pear-shaped. Maybe we get reforming, maybe we don't. And I don't want to speak bad of, and I don't want to get into politics and stuff, but we all voted Brexit, didn't we? And we always like, let's get, people that voted Brexit happened, and then it sort of, the person in charge of that just stopped. But now he's going to try and be the next Prime Minister. Maybe will, maybe won't. All I'm saying is there's people out there, there's the likes of, I don't want to get into like Rupert Lowe's and all these different people and different backgrounds and different opinions. Just enough's enough. Enough's enough. And whether you're right-leaning or left-leaning, can you not see that we're in trouble? Can you not see that people are scared to walk the streets? Elderly women walking around because they live next to migrant hotels with rape alarms on. There's an old people's home. I went to Southampton for the demo down there. I got called fascist and far right. What? Because I'm going to a demo where there's 155 migrants living in a hotel, men, and it's next door to an old people's home. And there's people masturbating in the gardens of the old people's home. They've had to put a fence up. That was her view. She lived in this old people's home, and she said, "Tommy, they've had to put a fence up for me." I just think it's a disgrace. I think it's a disgrace. They're giving old women rape alarms that live in the 75-year-old women because she lost her husband and she's scared for her life because she's living next door to some Afghani migrants, illegal migrants.
What do you think needs to change?
I think a massive shake-up needs to change, and I think we are changing. I think the country's changing. I think if you support and back us that raise the colours under that flag and banner, whether you're supporting it a little bit, a massive lot, whether you're offering a little bit of your time or even just sharing or liking a post, I think us getting out there and showing the world and showing this country and this government that we want change and we're not happy with how the country is. I think that the government should listen and can listen. The bigger picture and the deeper picture is councils, the councils and what the councils are doing and our government. But how do we get around that? I don't know. It's a massive vote, isn't it? But maybe these are coming in to vote.
You've been in the papers now as well. They've targeted you. That's what they try and do. They try and tarnish. Speaking about fraud and stuff, is there anything you want to clean up with that?
Yeah, I had a company. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, because that goes on. Fraud, stag, I had a company 10, 15 years ago, and I was doing personal injury claims for, what was I doing then? I was doing claims in Spain for holiday sickness. And it was like PPI and, the claim culture. And I was involved in that. And basically, I ran a small number of claims. I filed my accounts. We earned $8,000. Papers put it at 40 million. And, more for you lefties for reading it and loving it and good luck. That's why I couldn't care less because it's not true. They said I'm going to be going in court and going to jail for 8 years and 10 years and 12 years and all these mad things that the papers are making up. And it literally is what it says on the tin. It's paper talk. It's complete bullshit. I'm a real guy. I love my country. I'm proud. I love my family. But going back to these newspaper articles and stuff like that, I don't really care less. Do whatever you've got to do. I've not done anything wrong. My accountant filed the paperwork back then, and we done a video link to the Spanish courts. We sent them bank statements live of the company that was in charge of it. We showed them a holding statement, a final statement. We showed them all the accounts, forwarded everything to them. We've heard nothing ever since. So, they're saying I'm going to be on trial and I'm part of a criminal gang in Spain. It's a load of rubbish. I'm not part of any gang. I'm part of Raise the Colours. I'm a Birmingham City fan. I'm a family bloke. I pay my taxes. I pay my VAT. And I'm a nice, normal guy from Birmingham. And I want to stop the boats and illegal invasion.
But sometimes when people are doing the right things, this is when they be targeted. This is when they be tarnished. I get slaughtered in the press for shit that's going to come out. When my side comes out, then it'll be totally different. I expect a few apologies as well. But
Yep.
right now, I'm not a man who likes to hold my tongue. But the good thing about when the press talk shit, it shows you who's with you and who's not as well.
It does.
You know, I don't mind sitting in silence for a year, 2 years, 5 years, because when I fire back, I don't fucking miss, and that's the beautiful thing about me. Like, I'm the nice big guy, but trust me, I can play chess. I can sit back and wait, because when you're in that storm, you find out who wants to dance with you in the storm and who wants to run away for cover and lock the door and not let you in. And there's many of them, but thankfully, I've got a lot of fucking support. A lot of people know me who I am. I've been doing this 8 years. Never bent or broke. I was interviewing people when you couldn't interview people who were cancelled. I wouldn't say I'd done it first, but I was one of the first to leave the blueprint. Now it's trendy to interview people who have been cancelled. I interviewed them at the start of it all, you know what I'm saying? And people just gave you hate. I'm used to it. But thing about me, I don't bend or break. I'll be fucking strong, and I'll always come out shining bright. So don't worry about the press. And even if you did make mistakes in the past, it's the past. Who fucking cares? None of us are saints. Fuck's sake, you were a football hooligan.
Yeah, I know. That's my crime. That was my, and out of anything I do illegal, I've drove a bit fast a few times, and I've been to football and had the odd scrap with like-minded people. I'm not a bully. I'm not, that's my criminal activity. So if people want to say he's a fraudster, he's this, he's that, I really am not. And the proof's there, the paperwork's there. The police in England have investigated me. They've spoke to me about it, and there's no charges to answer. I've had a letter off the Home Office to say there's nothing for an extradition, because I've got solicitors on it. It cost me an absolute fortune. I've got solicitors on it to say, am I going to get extradited? Have I got to go to Spain? Am I going to be in the shit? What have I done? I haven't done anything wrong. I've processed a handful of personal injury, food poisoning claims, handset press. I was a middleman, and I passed them to a law firm and the solicitors, and they were there to vet them. It's nothing to do with me. They just put me as the forefront and put me a target and a name, and the figures that they put was about the whole industry. If you was actually clever enough to read it, but like you say, I've just kept my mouth shut. It was nearly 10 years ago, and it's just a load of rubbish.
That's the best way.
I don't really keep my mouth shut, and I'm still here.
Just move on with it. Did you ever actually speak to any of the illegal immigrants? Did any of them ever speak on camera or befriend any?
They're told not to speak, and then they say no English. I mean, it's just mad. It's just mad what they're being told, and that's when they're being exploited as well. And I don't feel sorry for them, because they're trying to come in and take the piss. And I've seen them at the hotels in England. They've got the all inclusive, and they're like, the plates are like, they can hardly carry the plate of food, and we've got that on camera. And these Crowborough down the road. I'm leaving here now, and I'm going straight there to that camp now. And apparently 540 of them are coming in tonight. And my very good friend Liam,
Tufsy, we're talking about Tufsy.
Tufsy's been down there, but not Tufsy. There's another guy called Liam, and he's been looking after the Crowborough. He's been doing the demos, which Tufsy went to on a Sunday, and they're on every Sunday at Crowborough about 10:30. They're trying to stop. Crowborough's got 20,000 in that community. And I'm not a demo guy. I'm not really one for marching. I like to get my boots on and go and get stuck in and get out there. But we're going to go down today, and all the boys are going to go down. And obviously this ain't going out, so I can tell you the plan. We're going to try and hang our massive 20 by 20 meter flag saying raise the colours, stopping the boats. And we're going to try and hang that over the gates of the barracks that are closed. We're going to try and flag the area for them, make them feel a bit more patriotic, make them feel like the country's backing them. And we're going to go down there now under the cover of darkness, and we're going to get that done throughout the night tonight, because the weather's bad in France. So I'm not going. I normally get to France sort of today or tomorrow, and I'm not going to. We're not going because the weather's bad. We know there's going to be no crossings, so we're going to look at going back out to France next week. And tonight we're going to go there, and we're going to support Liam and the guys. Liam got arrested last night at 2:00 in the morning. He hasn't been charged. They've just given him a caution now that he can't stay around. He's got to be so many yards away from the entrances. Now that's for one reason only. That's to stop him telling the likes of us and reporting what is going on there. There's gym equipment coming in. There's new beds. There's new sofas. There's new pots and pans. It's horrific what's going on. They're having brand new everything into this camp where Gurkhas live there for over long. The army have lived there, but they're having brand new everything in there. And that's what I just think, it's just a farce. And I think the bigger fat cats behind the scenes are the people that get the contracts. It's Crowborough is, they reckon it's from 170 a day where they are in the hotels now, down to £100 a day. Still £54,000 a day going on Crowborough. So that army barracks there where we're going to go to now when I leave here and go and meet the boys. We're going to go down there and support him. He's got arrested. They've seized his car, said that he's threatened somebody. And he said, I haven't. He said, I just said, lads, can you please not go in there? And they said, they're cleaners. They jumped all out the back of an Enterprise hired vehicle, and they're all dressed in like operational tactical gear, and they were security. So who is paying them security? It's our government. So our government are doing so much. These 500 illegal migrant men can go into that building because Liam's a good guy, works in the city. He ain't a guy that's going to go and, be stopping women and children that are trying to seek asylum. I think it's a load of rubbish. So he's been told he can't go there. So we're going to go there tonight, and we're going to go and stake it out for ourselves. And hopefully we can stop these guys coming in, because I'm scared that these migrants now are going to move from the hotels. I'm scared that they're going to move from the army barracks, and I'm scared that they are going to be in HMOs on the street next to you and me, because I don't want to be on the phone to that girl that I was speaking to last week, where she said, I've got like 7 Afghans living next door to me. They're migrants. They're talking in foreign language. I don't know what's going on. They're not integrating. I've said hello. I don't know who they are. And I'm scared to now take my daughter to the park. That can't happen in our country.
Do you think it could be something more sinister where they're sending these young men as an invasion for when the button gets pressed for them just to go on major killing sprees?
It's another conspiracy, isn't it? But it's on the cards, isn't it? It's a training camp, isn't it? These are men. Why 550 men are going to Crowborough? Why is it men going to this small village, out the way, army barracks? There's 20,000 people in that town. So 550 men are going to be walking around the streets, using the NHS, the park. They're not going to be going to the schools. Because I don't think anyone would be humane against, kids going to a school or people from an unfortunate background doing that. These are men. Why are they in them camps? And they're going to be walking around them streets. It's not happening.
I think in Dundee or Falkirk,
Dundee, yeah.
I think they were putting them in schools and learning next to the kids.
That's right, yeah. That's completely right. We've had a girl contact us from Dundee, and there's some stuff going on in Falkirk as well, yeah, that we've been contacted about. There's a story in the Scottish Sun today about some migrants that's attempted to rape some girls, and they've been
Apparently Scotland's got the most.
Yeah.
But it's just kept under wraps, but there's a few boys doing their thing.
They are.
Jake Houston and Alec. But it comes at a cost, because they're all getting put in the papers now, like they don't.
In the net.
Like, when you do step at the forefront and try and speak out, it pisses someone off. It doesn't make sense. Either somebody's making money from it or someone doesn't see the bigger picture. They're too dumb to see what's going on,
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think the hotels are to blame.
Do you think it's a money thing as well?
100%. 100%.
From the government? They must have been making millions.
It's all money and backhanders. I mean, Boris Johnson's first 2 weeks trying to get into his term, when he come in, he was flying with the Union flag down the zip line. He was playing football with kids. His last 2 weeks was in Ukraine. Why your last 2 weeks of term? Aren't you in your own country thanking everyone for your term and what you've done? Why was he in Ukraine? And now Ukraine's gone out the news. So I think there's a bigger story behind all of it. I think that there's backhanders going on left, right and centre. I think all these politicians that are there and thereabouts, we've got one in Birmingham, the old Home Secretary, and he was heavily involved. And now I hear he owns a load of HMOs in the Birmingham area. So we're going to be on his tail as well. But we can't, it's not just a Birmingham thing. If Patriots in Scotland need help, we'll go anywhere. We're going to go to Cobra tonight, and we're going to go and help them. And as soon as the weather picks up, we're going to be Operation Overlord is going to go into full swing with Danny Tomo, and we're going to make sure that we do our utmost to stop the illegal invasion of these unvetted men.
Where do you go forward for the future with it all?
Yeah, it's going to look like January. We're going to plan. We're going to use the next December, January, February as the months where the sea's choppy, and they're not going to use the dinghies and boats, and we're going to use them to plan what we're going to do going forward for the summer. And we're going to stop this. I reckon by this time next year, hopefully you have me on and you say, Ryan, well done, then bloody boats stopped. But they might move on to the next thing. It was lorries, wasn't it, 10 years ago? They're in lorries, and then we give them all the money, and we secured Calais. I spoke to people at Calais and Dover on the Eurotunnel, and they said they used to literally run down the tunnel, and they'd just walk down the tunnel. I was like, really? And they're like, yeah. And these are people that have recognised our face at the ports, and they've told us the stories. And you're like, no, it's just mad. And the more people we speak to, the more knowledge we get, the bigger the team gets at Raise the Colours. Everyone's welcome. If you love your country, if you love your country and love what you do, love what we're doing, and you're against what our government's letting happen to our country, and you don't want to feel fearful on the streets, then come and join us. Everyone's welcome, and we're gonna.
How can people join you, Ryan? What's your social medias? How can people get in contact for anybody that's maybe scared of things that are happening in that area? Like I say, you're not fucking police, you're not that, but
No,
you
no.
try to do your best to help protect others from illegal immigration.
Yeah.
But how can people get in contact with you?
raisethecolours.org.uk, and we're going to do a newsletter. Our first newsletter's going out this week, and we're going to do consistent newsletters, and we're going to do the emails in and out. We're going to have people. These are just normal people that we're going to meet, and we're going to vet and see that they're not lefties, and they're going to come in with our team, and we'll give them we're all going to help together, and they're going to go, right, we'll answer emails, we'll help you, and we're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. This organisation, we've backing, we can make this work. So we're going to try our best. Facebook, Instagram, we're on all the channels and platforms. We're not on the lefty ones. There's loads that copy us. There's loads that mimic us. So raisethecolours.org.uk. We've got a website of interest, which is Operation Overlord 2, and that's .co.uk, and that's to register your interest. We're going to collate all our information together under Raise the Colours. And Raise the Colours is going to look next year to stop the illegal migration in full swing. We want to stop every single illegal migrant coming into the country illegally, and that's unvetted, and that will then in turn stop what's going on, the rapes, the murders, the killings in our country, and we're going to stop that. That's our plan.
Ryan, listen, thank you for coming on and telling your story. You're a friend. I wish you nothing but the best for the future, brother. And yeah, hopefully have you back on and we get some good results on making Britain a safer place.
Thank you, buddy.
God bless you.
Cheers. Thank you.